I must admit, I have a soft spot for campy movies. If you lock me in a room with a copy of Gravity or the original RoboCop, I'll give you one guess which movie I'll be watching, citizen. Which brings us to Earth Defense Force 2025. Like the film Starship Troopers, the game has loads of camp oozing from its pores. From stated graphics and frequent slowdown to its laughably hilarious voice acting and nonsensical story, EDF 2025 should be a bad game by any other definition. But it's not. Instead, it's the perfect example of camp done right in video game form. Set in a world threatened by giant insects, the game improves on the multiple class system from the series' red-headed stepchild Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon, while building on the solid gameplay of cult favorite Earth Defense Force 2017. The result is plenty of mindless insects, mindless shooting, and mindless fun. This time around, you can play as a Ranger, the Tactical Air Raider, the Airborne Capable Wing Diver, and the Hulking Fencer. Each class plays quite differently, making the game feel like a new experience with each one. The Ranger plays like the basic soldier of the EDF series, for example, and is the easiest to use thanks to a great assortment of rifles and sidearms as well as powerful rocket launchers. Let's just say I had a bunch of guys laughing their butt off after seeing me test one of my acquisitions. The Air Raider, in contrast, is more of a thinking man soldier, providing support by calling airstrikes and summoning vehicles like tanks to the fray. Then you've got the Wing Diver, which sacrifices armor for flight and added mobility. It's also the only option for folks interested in a female fighter in an otherwise male-dominated game. The Fencer, meanwhile, is the kind of character that causes Salt and Peppa to sing about mighty good men, carrying 4 weapons to the fray and doing cool stuff like dual-wielding 2 chain guns at the same time. It'll definitely make you feel like a Spartan king who kicks a hapless Persian messenger into a bottomless pit, even when you are not hitting anything. Plus you can recolor it to make it look like a Sinanju from the Gundam Unicorn series. Ooh yeah. It's hilariously slow though, so this one's ideal for folks who enjoy tanky Monster Hunter or Dark Souls controls. Just make sure to carry a weapon that lets you dash or you'll end up being that guy who's always late to the party. Enemies, meanwhile, are quite plentiful, attacking players with Zerg-like determination. Fortunately, so are your weapons, which come in various types and levels. The higher the difficulty of the mission you select, the better your weapon drops. You can also play solo, split-screen co-op, or online with other players. One neat thing about multiplayer is you can actually play local co-op and online at the same time to form a 4-man team. The matchmaking interface is a bit bare bones though, and finding the team and mission you want online isn't always possible. Presentation for the game remains over the top. The B-movie acting and hilariously cheesy dialogue from your allies is camp personified and provides a nice change of pace from the super serious games out there. Seeing buildings shatter like glass from your weapons is also a hoot, especially since the good guys in this game can actually do way more damage to a city than the foes they're supposedly protecting it against. Downsides include a certain lack of polish by next-gen or even current-gen standards. The glorious number of foes in the game comes at the expense of smoother frame rates, while the graphics look as outdated as the paisley wardrobe and fluffy afro my uncle used to rock in the 70s. The game also can be quite a grind in terms of getting decent weapons and pumping up your armor to better survive later missions. I recommend farming weapons on the first mission on at least hard mode as soon as you can if you don't want to be tickling larger foes when you progress through the campaign even on normal. Also, if you value your own hairdo, wear a hat when playing stages with swarms of spiders, or you just might go bald from pulling your hair off. There's nothing more frustrating than being web-blocked by spiders from clear across the map, especially since their web shots can go through the buildings and terrain. Still, EDF 2025 is the gaming equivalent of a popcorn flick, making it a fun route for folks who enjoy mindless action. I introduced a little cousin who's never heard of the game before to EDF 2025 in the course of my review. Just a few missions later, he was already chanting EDF, EDF, EDF. Yep, he's indoctrinated alright.